What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jungle Jordan, and we are here at the Santa Barbara Zoo in sunny California. Kind of overcast right now, but this is a beach city. It's fine. We're going to go inside and check out some cool animals, have some amazing encounters, and overall have a fun time. You ready to go inside? Let's do it. Okay, we're here now at the Australian Walkabout exhibit here at the Santa Barbara Zoo. It's a really cool, immersive Australian landscape, Australian animals like kangaroos and wallabies. I'm pretty excited to see them, and we're gonna walk right next to them. It's gonna be super immersive, like we're right there with the animals. Let's go in. Wait for that door to close behind us. And we're gonna go in here and check to see if we can find some wallabies or whoever else is gonna be in here. Let's go in. Hi, how's it going?
Hey, good morning.
How are you doing today?
Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
You're
No one
welcome.
ever asks me. Who are you and what do you do here?
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm a keeper here at the Santa Barbara Zoo. I've been here about 3 years now. This is kind of my bread and butter in this exhibit, but I work all over. We all have kind of diverse backgrounds here at our zoo.
So I see we do also have another guest here right in
We
front of us,
do.
and he just threw grain at me just now. So
Yeah.
that's lovely.
This is Banjo. He
Banjo.
just turned 2, so he's an adult emu, but he could live up to 15 years, as you probably know, as an emu enthusiast.
I am an emu with the hi, sir. Yeah, yes. Okay, he's looking right at me. Those big brown eyes. Those are giant eyeballs.
Yeah, right?
Are there some interesting facts about those eyes that we may know?
Sure. Well, they have a reticulated membrane. So they have not only the same eyelids that we do that blink up and down, but they have a second eyelid that goes across their eye. And it helps protect them from substrate on the ground, being foragers that use mainly their beak to pick up food and investigate their worlds. They need extra protection or shielding on their eyes. You know, we have adaptations like glasses and things that we purchase to help protect ours, but animals have things like a reticulated or second eyelid built in to do the work for them.
So is that also called a
Nictitating, I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nictitating membrane. Okay.
Nictitating,
So
yeah.
same thing. Okay. So we're in the Australia Walkabout section, and so these are animals that are found in Australia.
Yeah.
So walking through here, I've never been to Australia,
Okay.
but I'd like to imagine it looks just like this.
Sure.
Minus the fact that it has these paved roads.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. We try to mimic their natural habitat where these animals would be found the best we can. All the plants that surround you are natural forage that they would eat, natural grasses that they would eat as well. And these animals will forage everything from the leaves, the fruit, and the bark as well as it's available.
Okay.
And emus kind of bridge that gap between herbivore and carnivore. They're omnivores, so they eat whatever these guys don't, including the feces of our kangaroos and wallabies here. When there's nothing else available, they can break down the herbaceous diet that these animals can't and get nutrients from it.
Okay. So they like poop.
They're natural recyclers.
That's lovely.
We
like
appreciate the help.
we like poop. That's
Yeah.
great. I was looking at those eyes. They again, I know we talked about them already, but
Sure,
the size of them.
sure. Wide field of vision.
There's a lot going on in there.
Sure.
Is there a lot going on in his head?
It's hard to say. How do we know, right? We can't ask him, hey, how's your day going?
Yeah.
But other things other than that are those behavioral signs we get, you know, those cues of good preening. This is comfortable, relaxed posture in our presence, right? In terms of problem solving and, you know, what we would think of as brain power, that IQ score,
Mhm.
I don't know. But, you know, their main sort of source is socialization with us, especially as a hand-reared bird. And at the end of the day, getting that sustenance.
Mhm. Live your life to
Live
stay
your life.
alive.
Live your life to stay alive.
There you go.
I would agree.
Yeah.
We have all those other adaptations too. You know, we can run up to 35 miles an hour. We can jump up to 6 feet. Huge leaps and bounds as well.
I was looking at those toes earlier. So they have the 3 toes, and they are in the rat type family,
Rat types.
which is the basically large giant birds that can't fly.
Can't fly.
So the ostrich is the other one, and ostriches only have 2 toes.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And they're the Africa native, right? And another difference between emus and ostriches is size. Ostriches are actually much larger. They can get up to 9 feet tall. And they have semi-functional wings that they use in courtship, Whereas emus have teeny, teeny, tiny vestigial wings. I can even point his out because he's being so relaxed. This is his teeny, tiny chicken wing.
I did also want to mention something about those beautiful feathers. So these guys and one other bird that I know, I think it was a cassowary.
Yeah.
They have these special, unique feathers.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, there's 2 feathers grown for every 1 follicle. And unlike other birds, they lack a preening gland. So not only does the construction of their feather differ, but of course, like you talked about, in absence of wings, their function is a little bit different. They also need to be heat resistant. They need to be fit for a cooler environment as well, so they can stay warm and stay dry. So adding layers also helps them keep cool. So there's tons of layers here, and you can kind of see underneath too these tiny pin feathers growing in. Rather than having a kind of catastrophic molt like penguins or birds that have like a seasonal rotation of feathers to attract mates or other things, they're kind of just constantly replenishing like mammals do seasonally as well. We don't really lose our hair all at once.
Right.
I have the privilege of having raised him from a hatchling and these 2 as well. So we're really excited to incorporate one as a new kind of brotherly figure for him. And
that's the babies that you're talking about.
Yeah,
that we saw you running earlier.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they have some growing to do, but we're excited for him to have someone to kind of, like we're doing right now, just feed off each other's energies and our passion. And I think, like we said, the foraging passion will be mutual, and they'll have someone to kind of run around with as they mature.
So the babies, I noticed, they're pretty big at this stage. I don't know how old they are, maybe a few months?
Yeah, they're around 2 or 3 months.
Okay, because they look a little bit bigger than I know the babies are. Well, they're still babies, but they're striped.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a natural adaptation. You know, when you're smaller, you're more likely to be predated, right? And at this stage in their life, if they weren't already out foraging on their own, they would be hanging out with dad. And those stripes, if he's not available to protect them, help him camouflage in with the ground, those shadows that high grasslandy environments provide, and a kind of sticky environment. Our bark would be a great camouflage space for them, or just deadfall. Sticks hanging around would be great for them to just nestle into the ground and basically disappear.
There's so many different cool things that we can talk about emus. I have so many things on my mind right now. I actually want to talk about, like you mentioned, dads. Like emus are amazing dads.
Amazing dads.
And mom kind of just leaves and just hightails it out of there.
Exactly.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. It makes them one of the unique birds. A lot of times it's mutual. In bald eagles, for example, mom and dad care. But in species like this, mom comes in, lays those eggs in a nest, and dad says, "You got it. These are mine." Whether they're his or not, he's going to lay on those eggs and sit there for up to 2 months without eating or drinking or moving from that nest until they hatch. It takes about, I think, 50 to 60 days for those eggs to come to term and hatch. And after that point, dad is there for them up to a year after hatchling if they aren't at a point of independence yet. But luckily, birds at that age are also pretty precocial, right? So they're able to, right out of the gate, come out and feed themselves. Unlike other birds, like our flamingos, they don't require dad to do the feeding, but it's really important for him to be around to get those emu kind of behaviors going, the foraging, the bathing without that feeding gland. They rely a lot on dust and water to fill that gap for them. And also just the social rules and the hierarchies that belong in those groups as well.
You know, I appreciate the time you're taking with me to show me this beautiful animal, Banjo.
No problem.
But I just wanted to ask you, what do these animals mean to you? What keeps you coming into work every day?
For me, it's the connection that I can make with an animal and then bridge that gap between guests. Like you said, you've never been to Australia before. I haven't either. But when we're able to bridge that gap between an animal, a person who comes to visit our zoo is never going to see in their lifetime, and we can bring to them in their backyard and teach about the cool feathers and the cool fatherly figures that they are, it means the world to me. To bring that to someone, to give access to someone who wouldn't otherwise ever in their life have access. It just means the world to me.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much for your time and
Sure.
showing this sleepy boy Banjo here. He's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I got to get going, but
Sure.
thank you so much for
Pleasure.
your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you.